All right, we're recording. So I am going to mute the other 4 people, or the other 3, however many are on the call, and then Paul, you can do *6 and unmute yourself and get going, okay?
Okay, great.
All right, Paul, you can do *6 and you're on.
Okay, well, thank you, Christine, for having me today. I appreciate it. Welcome all. My name is Paul Weil. I am with HomeActions, and today I'm going to be discussing our email marketing program that we offer agents. So just to sort of give you a little bit of history about our relationship with Success Real Estate, I was at the Marshfield office in February and presented there. And then went down to Quincy. There were a few agents there that we talked to about the program. And currently we have 14 agents who are using the program and ecstatic with the results. So very excited to educate what we offer and how we can help your business with email marketing. So let's start by explaining a little bit about the program, obviously, but and I always ask the question, how many people in the room are doing any sort of email marketing? And believe me, 99% of agents are not doing email marketing. And the number one reason why they're not doing email marketing is because they don't have their emails organized. Now, every agent on this call right now has a database. You all have a database. It's just not organized. You've got your emails in your Gmail, Outlook, Hotmail, AOL, Facebook, LinkedIn. They're all over the place. So step one in our process is to actually export all those emails into a clean database. Once we do that, then we design the newsletter for you. We write all of the compelling content, and we send this out to your sphere of influence, your email database, every 2 weeks, keeping you top of mind with the people that you should be staying in front of on a consistent basis, right? We know this business is all about working referrals and working our friends, friends of friends, business associates, and so on and so forth. So let's talk a little bit about our role in society and what we do on an everyday basis. I think that's a good starting point. Let me see if I have control of this. I think I need to get control of this PowerPoint here because I can't switch the slides.
I can switch it for you if you want. Nope, no, I can't. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Did I just do that? Okay, perfect.
Yep, you're doing it.
Now. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what we do on an everyday basis, right? We're working as an agent under the Success brand, but we're all responsible for our own marketing budgets, right? So, we're entrepreneurs, we're self-employed contractors, but we have to figure out where we want to spend our dollars. Now, there's a lot of things we can spend our money on, right? There is postcards, right? How many people are doing the postcard campaign, spending money there to get your message and your brand and your name out in front of those people? Zillow and Trulia, where you can spend money on Zillow and Trulia to drum up leads, right? There's another way to stay in front of your audience. How about handwritten notes? I always say the handwritten note is one of the most powerful ways to build relationships with people, right? There's nothing more powerful than receiving a handwritten note from people. And then, of course, picking up the phone and calling our past clients and just having conversations with people on an everyday basis about what we do, okay? Email marketing is a core component of the overall marketing mix. Now, it's not going to solve all your problems, but it is something that you can do that's extremely cost-effective and will get you in front of such a large audience where you wouldn't be able to, pick up the phone and call them, or you probably don't have their address, right? So email marketing is a way for you to stay relevant in their eyes. All right. So let's go through some statistics that I think are important to sort of understand. The NAR, National Association of Realtors, said that X% of all the money that you're going to make, all your commissions, is coming from people you know right now, right? Now, is it a high percentage? Is it a low percentage? Do we all work by referral? Well, NAR says 70% of all the money that you're going to make is coming from people you already know. So I want you to keep that stat in the back of your mind. Let's define a pipeline, because I think a lot of agents are a little confused on what a pipeline is. Now, a pipeline isn't just your buyers searching in your MLS or the sellers you did a CMA for. Your pipeline is actually every single individual in your email database. Now, 98% of those people, they already have a house. They're not looking to buy, they're not looking to sell right now, but weeks, months, years later, of course. And they're a fantastic source of referral for us. So many of us have websites, maybe personal websites, maybe company-sponsored websites, but we all know that nobody's waking up in the morning and going to paulweill.com to see what's going on in the world. People have their own work, their own life, their own kids, their own problems. They're just not thinking about what we do on an everyday basis. And nor are we thinking about what they do, right? So I call our email newsletter a mobile website, where we're bringing our relevant information to our SOI, sphere of influence, consistently every 15 days. So this thing goes out twice a month, 24 times a year. This is another interesting stat that I love to talk about, and I'm sure you've all seen it. NAR says 86% of people said they loved their agent would use them again, but only 23% actually reuse that same agent. Okay, so why is there such a big gap there? Well, there's a big gap there because agents aren't staying in touch, they're not following up, they're not keeping in touch with their past clients, friends of friends, and all that. Now, NAR is pulling this directly from MLS, so these stats are pretty accurate. I'm sure out of curiosity, we've all looked back if we get a listing and say, oh, I wonder who the last agent was on that transaction. You can look back to see what those results are. So, I mean, the whole point of this is to stay relevant, to stay top of mind with these people. So important to do, right? Out of sight, out of mind, and not anymore, because this email newsletter is going to go out every 15 days, 24 times a year, and you're going to be the go-to realtor when that buyer or seller is ready to make a decision. At the very least, we're going to put you in the conversation when that buyer or seller is ready to make a move. Okay, so why are we not doing email marketing? Well, it's pretty simple, right? We don't have the time. We don't have the content. We don't know what to write. We don't have a system or an overall game plan to execute on this stuff. Okay, it's challenging, right? And, Brian Buffini, I love Brian Buffini. I'm sure we all are very familiar with him and his systems, and he's all about working by referral. And anytime you put any part of your business on a system, it's going to yield results. And it's just a matter of being consistent with it. And this is how we help you be consistent. We ask you to outsource your email marketing to us, and we manage it for you. Now, I've got experience in the real estate industry. I've been in your shoes. I've spent my money on everything underneath the sun. So I totally get what you go through on an everyday basis. I actually did email marketing through Constant Contact. I'm sure you're maybe familiar with Constant Contact or MailChimp, where it's a do-it-yourself program, where you actually have to design your templates, write all your content, and send it out. Very time-consuming, and most agents just don't do it. Now, I didn't have a choice when I started in the real estate business. I actually started at RE/MAX in Winchester, and I was, sitting with the broker on my first day, went through all the forms. He hooked me up with a mentor. And he said, Paul, we've got to put a postcard campaign together for you. Okay, great. Tell me what I need to do. Designed it, got the stamps, got the envelopes, realized I didn't have any addresses. At the time, I was still living with my parents. I went home. I said, Ma, I need your address book. Okay, fantastic. Grabbed the address book, came back to the office, printed labels, sent it out. After a week, nothing. No phone calls, nothing. And I had no idea about the business. I really didn't get it. I thought everybody was looking to buy or sell. I mean, I really didn't understand it. So almost in a panic, I started emailing my friends. I need your address. I'm in real estate. Oh, my God, I can't spend another $250 on a mailing piece. So I discovered email marketing. And I built my list by hand. I had over 1,000 names. Now, I didn't have a company like HomeActions that helped me export all my names into Excel. I had to do it by hand. And I didn't do it twice a month because I didn't know what to write. I started doing it quarterly. Then I beefed it up to once a month. Then I eventually, that's all I did. I just did it once a month because I share that story because I can speak very passionately and confidently about this email marketing because I've done it and I've seen the results, and I'm going to talk a little bit about return on investment as we go through this. All right, so our program, the reason why the agents love it is because it is essentially a set it and forget it program. We're going to portray you as an advocate to all your past clients, contacts, every single person in your email database, okay? And we're not going to talk about chicken pot pie recipes or, what to do on moving day or how to home stage your house, because remember, 98% of the people in our email database, these people already have a house. So we don't want to be feeding them heavy-duty real estate-centric stuff on a consistent basis. Because guess what they're going to think? They're going to be like, Jesus, I'm getting another thing from Paul on real estate. Enough already. It's overkill, okay? So our strategy is to talk about things that are relevant and actionable, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, here's the body of the email, and here's, sort of the flavor of the content strategy. What's ahead in smart home technology, for example? How much value does remodeling add, okay? Does your auto insurance cover pothole damage? Okay, so the strategy is to talk about things that people can use in their everyday life now, not when they're looking to sell or buy. So, and remember, these people aren't spending hours on your email, right? They're opening it up, they're going to click on whatever's relevant, and then they're going to move on in their day. But the whole point is that your name, the success brand, and your message is in front of these people on a consistent basis. Here's a few others. Sneaky places to hide your valuables. Believe it or not, that one got a ton of opens, and we track all this. I'm going to show you the analytics on the back end. 6 cool things from the 2014 Kitchen and Bath Show. Okay, so again, you can kind of see what we're trying to do here. Okay, here's the look and feel of the newsletter, which is going to be branded to you. So you can take a look at Renee's newsletter. And on the right-hand side here, you've got my website, Zillow reviews, home search. So those are live links. So if you click on that, you go right to her Zillow reviews. Home search goes right to her MLS. We can put your social media links there, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Okay, there's 5 to 6 articles within the body of the newsletter. And you can add your own content. So let's say you have a brand new listing. You can drop it into the newsletter. Or maybe you have a first-time home buyer seminar you're doing, or you've got some hyper-local content that you want to bring into the newsletter, something going on the South Shore. You want to incorporate that, okay? I'm going to share a few newsletters of some of the agents that are enrolled in the program so you can get a look and feel of what the newsletter looks like and how the agents are using it. So Jeff he was a new agent, and he needed to find a way to stay competitive and get his name and brand and message out there. Jeff's got 168 email contacts, and here's his newsletter, which I think looks pretty classy. And he did, what is my home worth, looking to buy, search here. And he's probably doing some affiliate marketing with lose weight for free. I don't know what he's doing there, but you can get an idea, okay? So Mary Jo Cunningham out of Braintree, right? So, she's in Plymouth? Okay. Yep. So here's sort of the look and feel of Mary Jo's. Mary Jo's got a bigger list. She's got 708 email contacts. Now, our average agent has about 342 email contacts, okay? So it's going to be a range. Here's Sonia out of Quincy, okay? So again, read my reviews, like me on Facebook. You can get creative with this, okay? Sonia's got 870 email contacts. Now, before we met Sonia, she wasn't doing any of this. And now she's staying in front of those 870 people every 2 weeks, okay? So we came down to Marshfield in February, so some of the agents that are enrolled have been on this thing for 6 months. Here's Deborah Riley in Quincy, okay, just to give you an idea. She's got 466 emails. Kathy's got 135, Norton real estate agent, okay? And then Jeannie Carr here, she's got 185. Now, Jeannie told me, Jeannie wasn't even at my presentation. She signed up and said, Paul, this thing's been on my to-do list for a long time, and I don't know how to execute on it. And I said, well, thank God we're here for you, right? So, we put this together for Jeannie, and, she's in front of these people consistently since February. All right, just wanted to share that. Let's talk about Zillow and Trulia for a second, the 2 big boys in the industry, right? So what happens when our customers go to Zillow and Trulia and then come back to us? What are they generally saying about the information, right? They're generally saying, hey, my house is worth $400,000 on Zestimate, and you're like, oh God, no, you can't go off those estimates. You got to go off MLS data, and we've got to re-educate them and explain that to them. Now, we're not going to stop them from going to Zillow and Trulia, okay? But they're just going to keep going there. They're spending $40 million plus in advertising. They're the two biggest sites on the internet, and they don't want to be bothered by a real estate agent, so that's why they're going there. Okay. Now, we don't do Zestimates within our mobile newsletter, but we have a feature called Know Your Neighborhood. So if you plug in Quincy, Mass, Marshfield, Mass, Braintree, Mass, you're going to get information on the school systems, population, median home cost. Now, every newsletter that goes out, we have this Know Your Neighborhood feature, which is pretty cool. Okay. Here's step one. Okay, so how good does it feel to have things organized? It feels good, right? So, and I know you guys are like, oh, geez, I don't know how many emails I have. I have no idea. Well, I don't have any emails. Well, you have a database, okay? Every agent on the phone has a database. What we do, step one, once you enroll into the program, and it happens quickly, once you sign up, we give you the support number. You do a web conference like this with our support tech. They take control of your computer screen, and they will go into your Gmail, Outlook, AOL, LinkedIn, Facebook, and they'll export all of those email contacts into a clean database like this. First name, last name, email. Now, you're going to have duplicates, right? Because some of the emails in Gmail are going to be the same in Facebook. We're going to get rid of the duplicates for you, okay? We're going to put it in alphabetical order, and then we're going to send you this list to review and approve. Now, there's going to be other agents on your list. Now, you can delete those people or you can leave them. It's up to you. Some of my agents say, Paul, I'll just approve the list, leave everybody. I'm going to be marketing some of my listings. And if they want to unsubscribe, so be it. Let them unsubscribe. Other agents are like, no, I'd rather just go through my list and just delete people that I don't want to receive it. Okay, whatever you want to do. So I always say this, this is very, very important. This is the most important slide in the whole entire presentation. You guys should be like excited about this because you're going to get this once you enroll into the program. Now, the most valuable asset that you have as an agent is the database, right? The addresses and the emails. Most agents, 99% of agents don't have an organized email database, and it is truly the most valuable asset that you have, and nobody has it. And it's crazy. But if you were to, sell your business tomorrow, if you don't have addresses or emails, you have nothing of value, nothing to sell. If I were going to team up with you, and I decided to come as a success agent, I would say, okay, first thing that I would say is, okay, let's get your emails organized. Here's my 1,000 names. Let's combine them, and let's go market each other and stay in front of this audience consistently. All right, so important. Let's talk about exclusivity on the email addresses. And I know you guys may be thinking of some questions. Just, jot them down, and we can do some chat after the call, which is fine. I'm going to address all the questions. But we have exclusivity on the emails, which means johnsmith@gmail.com isn't going to receive 5 different newsletters from 5 different agents. So once you get your email list into the system, you own them. No other agent can market to John Smith. All right, so very, very important. I really want you guys on the phone to just have a different mentality on email addresses moving forward from today, because it's a game changer, right? Now we have our emails organized. Now we're touching this audience consistently. That's huge for us in our business. Let's talk about where we're getting them. Other than exporting and doing the initial data dump into our platform with all the emails, where else can we get emails? I always say anyone that has a kid in their 20s or 30s, right, go to your son and go to your daughter and get those email addresses. These are first-time home buyers. These are people, we've probably done deals with some of our kids' friends, right? So we want to call, get the son, get the daughter, get the emails. Husbands, wives too, right? They've got databases. We'll pull out of their LinkedIn. We'll pull out of their Facebook. Now, Facebook doesn't want you to pull out of Facebook. So what we have to do is create a free Yahoo account, and then
that's a little touchy for me. Just so we know, all success agents, if we're going to go down that route, just give me a heads up. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay. Well, all right. Yeah. So we can discuss that. It's basically you have to import email contacts from Facebook to Yahoo, and then we export out of Yahoo. Now, we can't grab the Facebook emails, john@facebook.com, but if they have a Comcast, Verizon, Gmail, or whatever, we can pick those emails up and put them into our system. All right. So, all right. So let's look at the analytics. This is the fun part of email marketing, right? Where you get to spy on what people are doing. So, for example, Monica sent out 393 emails. One email bounced. And okay, so we're going to show you which you're going to have more than one bad email in there, right? So we're going to show you which emails are bad, and then you can go in and correct them or find them. We're going to show you unsubscribed people, right? We have to give people a way out. According to the Canned Spam Act, we have to give people a way out. So that's, don't take it personally. I mean, when I did email marketing, I used to be like, oh, geez, they unsubscribed, they don't like me. It's life. I mean, play the volume game and don't take it personal. 104 unique opens, which is a 26% open rate. Okay, now a really good open rate is about 40%. All right, now if you have 1,000 emails, it's going to be probably a little bit less versus a list of 200 emails. But on average, it's about 40%. Monica had 104 unique opens, but did 161 total opens, which means people are going into the newsletter multiple times. And this is the business intelligence that we want to look at once this thing goes out. Now, 4 days before we send the email out, we send you a reminder. Hey, your next scheduled email blast is on Monday, July 7th. So on Monday, you want to log into your dashboard with your username and passcode to take a look at the stats. So then you can see, oh, wow, Jackie Nelson clicked on this 8 times. What exactly did she click on? Interesting. Well, 5 quick ways to make more space in your bathroom. 10 people clicked on it. Interesting. Now, the very first email blast that you send out, okay, you're going to get people to write you back that you haven't talked to in years and years and years. I mean, that's just the reality of this. And it may have nothing to do with real estate. It may just be like, hey, how's it going? How's the family? How's everyone doing? Which is fine, right? Because we just want to open up dialogue with these people. But you will get leads. You'll get referrals out of this, and we're going to talk about return on investment in just a second here once we get to pricing. But this is the analytics. This is really the business intelligence that I love to look at, because we can take Jackie Nelson's name, we can plug her into public record, take a look at her situation. She's been in a ranch for 30 years. Man, maybe this will give us a reason to do handwritten notes, right? Or one-off emails. Maybe you want to just shoot her a quick note via email, one-on-one. Hey, if you ever need any information, I'm here. But this is a branding tool, right? You're going to be in front of these people, and they may not have an immediate need right now, but the whole point is just to stay relevant, just to stay top of mind, without being cheesy, without being annoying, okay? All right, so let's sort of wrap up here. I want to kind of recap what we talked about. I'm going to go through some testimonials, then we'll go through pricing, and then we'll open it up for questions through the chat feature. So that'll be cool. So just to kind of wrap up here, so we're going to organize your list, which is huge value. Like I said, you all have a database. It just needs to be organized, and we're going to pull that together for you, which is huge. And then we're going to design it. We're going to write all the content. And the content, by the way, we have a chief editor overseeing the content strategy. So what we're doing in New England is much, much different than what we're doing in California, Texas, and Florida, okay? So we're going to talk about things that are relevant to this neck of the woods. Now, I've been into 80 offices in New England in 10 months. So this product has kind of really taken off, all right? So so we've got, I've got right now 450 agents enrolled in the program just in New England. We've got 5,000 across the country. All right, so we're going to help you with the content. If you want to add content, you can easily do that, or you can email support, and support will help you do it. If you're not tech savvy, that's fine. We get it. Success agents are typically a little bit more tech savvy than, the Century 21 or a Coldwell Banker, but whatever. So we're going to help you analyze the metrics. You want to be able to look at those reports. Those are key. Now, I can tell you this is the greatest thing since sliced bread up here, right? But let's hear from some of the agents and brokers that are actually using this program. Well, you've got 14 people on your team that are using it since February, which is great. But here's, Century 21, Alan Limey is the broker owner. They have the #1 market share in New England, #4 in the world. So they do a tremendous amount of business. Before he met me, They weren't doing any email marketing, just like every other office out there. We have 125 of their agents enrolled into the program with over 50,000 emails, which is about $350 per agent, which is huge, right? So now they're staying in front of people consistently every 2 weeks with our program. Here is, let me switch this, so why isn't this going to the next slide here?
Probably because I just chatted there, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right. Let's see here. Hold on, let me get the... Okay, cool. All right, so here's Tim up in Conway, New Hampshire. My inbox lit up after my first email blast. There were past clients that reached out to me that I haven't spoken to in years. I even got a request to do a CMA. Okay, so on the very first blast, he got a lead out of it, which is fantastic. Now, what is reality? Let's set the right expectations around return on investment, because I want you to know that if you go 12 months and you don't close a deal in 12 months, that's not a bad thing, because you're staying in front of, let's say, your 500 people every 2 weeks, 24 times a year. Remember what our sales cycles are, right? 6 to 8 to 12 months, if not longer, right? So we may generate a lead. Someone may sign up on our MLS, but they may not convert to the following year. So you got to look at it like, oh, I'm generating leads. I'll just share a quick story, too. When I was in the business, I had a girl I went to college with I went to Assumption College way back when, and she was a couple years younger than me. Now, I didn't have her phone number. I didn't have her address, but I was able to grab her email address, and I had her in my email marketing. Now, I had her, I was dripping her and staying in front of her, and eventually she signed up for my MLS. Oh, cool. All right, so she's looking in the MLS. Obviously, I can track that. And I sent her a one-off email. I said, hey, good to hear from you. Talked about old-time school, at the school, whatever. And I said, tell me, a little bit more about your situation, yada, yada, yada. Didn't hear back from her for actually a month. But I saw on the MLS that she was looking actively. So I'm like, oh, all right, so she's looking. So eventually she wrote me back, and she said, hey, Paul, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, we'd like to look at this house with my husband and I. Okay, great. Met them at the house. We ended up closing on a property in Framingham, and they referred me 2 people. So I closed those 2 people, and then one of their friends referred me to somebody else. So I got 4 deals out of it. Now, without email marketing, there's no way I would have got any of those deals, because I didn't have her phone number or I didn't have her address. Email marketing was the only way for me to stay in touch with this girl. All right? Here's Lynn Murray, Prudential agent in Sudbury. I ran into a buyer who bought one of my listings about 3 years ago, and he mentioned that he received my newsletter. So what she did, she took the buyer of her listing and dropped that person into her HomeActions system. He liked the info included and said he'd see me in the spring when he plans to sell a rental property he owns in Sudbury. Good things happen when you stay and when you keep in touch, and he wasn't even my buyer. All right, so good for Lynn, right? So I can almost guarantee that buyer broker isn't doing what Lynn's doing. And at the very least, Lynn is going to be in the conversation when that guy has to make a decision on who he wants to go with. And, she's most likely going to get a call. All right, let's talk about Jane McGowan. Okay, so you may know Jane. She's on the South Shore, right? Marshfield, Norwell, Quincy. Jane would not let me into her office. I don't let salespeople come into my office. Jane, I'm not a salesperson. You got to keep an open mind. Finally, she let me in. I said, hey, I'm working with 80% of the C21s in New England. This is what I've done. So finally, she let me in. She had a database of 1,700 people. She had no idea. We cleaned up her database, and now we're keeping her in front of those people every 2 weeks, something that she could never do on her own. And we're not only helping her, but, all of her agents are on the program. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. So let's get to the pricing so you guys can know what this thing costs.
Can you briefly also just go over? I mean, you just showed some of our competitors, and just explain that you will not be marketing to those same people again, just so everybody understands.
Yeah, we have the
Go ahead.
We have the exclusivity on the email addresses, which means anyone on Jane's list is those are her people. Nobody can market to her people. Now, we're in the same community. There could be some overlap, but and we show you which emails have already been claimed by another agent. We don't tell you who the agent is, but we say, these 20 emails have already been claimed. But everybody has their own SOI. Everybody has their own people, friends, past clients. So I always say play the volume game, and it hasn't been an issue. I mean, if we did it the other way around, it'd be chaos, right? You're like, I'm getting 5 different newsletters from 5 different agents.
Right. So you don't have to worry about that. Even though there are other brokers on this program, we're still going to be unique to the unique set of contacts that you have.
Right. That's very, very important. All right. So let's touch on the pricing here. And there's 3 plans to select. Okay. So we have the monthly plan where it's $40 a month. We have a annual plan, $395 for the year. And then we have a 3-year plan, which is 4 payments of $250. So you pay $250 today, 3 months down the road, next quarter, $250, the following quarter, $250. So it's $1,000 for the first year, and you get 3 years of HomeActions. And this pricing includes the database creation. So within a few days. Now, once you call our support line, we export out of your platforms and we organize the list. It takes us about 2 days to format the list. So we have to delete, we have to get rid of all the duplicates and clean it up and send it back to you. It takes us 2 days. But then, we can literally get you up and running within a week's time frame. So it's pretty quick. And then on top of that, unlimited upload of contacts. So we've got some agents with over 1,000 emails, 1,500 emails. We got some agents with 300 emails, which is fine. At least you're doing something productive. But yeah, you can put as many emails into the system as possible. Now, here's the thing. Once we do the initial data dump, right, you're going to get emails. Well, what do I do with emails moving forward? Well, you can add people one by one into the system. You just log into the dashboard, click on members, add member, and you can put in their first, last, and email. Or you could keep a running spreadsheet on your desktop, first name, last name, email, and then just send it to us every month or every quarter or whatever. Now, you're going to go to an open house, right, and you're going to get people to sign in, and if you can actually read what they wrote on that piece of paper, we've got leads that we can actually put into HomeActions, which is great. And I don't care if they're working with a buyer broker. It doesn't matter, right? Just get them into the system. Which is key. Or if we go to a cocktail party or we're out and about, right now we've got a different mentality around email addresses. So we're more aware of how important that person is and working that person over time, especially if you're in the business long term here, right? We've got to forecast out. We've got to think long term. And if you're a newbie, 2 years under, again, it's hey, we've got to find a way to generate business, and email marketing is the most cost-effective way to do that, to stay in front of such a large audience. So that's pretty much who we are as a business and what we do and how we can help you execute on email marketing. So I guess at this point, let's open it up for questions. I'm sure you guys have a bunch of questions you're dying to ask. So,
does everybody have the chat window there? If you have a question, instead of opening up the audio, I'm going to ask you to use your chat window, and we'll read your question out loud and get an answer. Nobody has a question. Speak now or forever hold your peace. We did record the session, so I will be sending this to everybody. No questions. Oh, how do you sign up? Email, etc.
Okay, so we have an order form which I will email to Christine, and you can fill out the order form, select the plan that you're interested in. You'll put your contact information there. And then once we get the form back, you can email it back to me. I will send you instructions, next step instructions, which is to call our support line. You can call our support line today, and they're open 9 to 9, 7 days a week. Now, if you're going to sign up, no success agents have procrastinated on this, but I have other agents that will sign up and they'll They won't call my support line for whatever reason. I'm like, guys, you just invested money in this. Let's go. You can't do anything without calling the support line. So just make sure you call the support line right away. Takes us a couple days to format the list. We'll get it back to you. We'll build your newsletter within 48 hours. So by Thursday, you will have your newsletter. And then, of course, we can add things and make changes and whatever it may be. Now, if you want to use a special image at the top, you can just send our support team a JPEG image and we'll drop it in there. If not, we'll just build a newsletter.
Well, I did send some stock stuff too, right? You guys have that on file for success.
We do.
Right, Paul? Yep. So
we would use that.
Yep, we have some stock marketing already done, some artwork, and you can always come and meet with me and we can build custom artwork for you. So that's not an issue either. No other questions? All right. Well, thank you, Paul. I'm going to end the session. You guys can get all back to your lunch. And we will schedule our next Tech Tuesday, and I'll keep you all posted. And we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.